sir.
Okay. So, as a gist in the experiment, the aim of the experiment is you should draw the characteristic curves of a PN junction diode, and also you should calculate the resistance of the diode both in forward bias and reverse bias. So semiconductors, they are intrinsic, divided as intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. So if a trivalent or pentavalent impurities are added, then the nature of the diode will be changing, the conductivity will enhance. You have a p-type of materials in which holes are the majority carriers, n-type of the materials in which electrons are the majority carriers. So when a p-type and n-type sandwich together, then it is called as a p-n junction diode. Here you can see the n-type is represented with a blue color, or p-type is represented with a pink color. So this is a NP diode with a region. This is called as a depletion region. The same diode, the symbol is represented like this. This one, the base is generally it is a positive terminal for this triangle, and the line drawn on this corner, it is represented with n-type material. So if the p-type of the material is connected to the positive terminal and n-type is connected to the negative terminal, this arrangement is called as forward bias arrangement. So when certain forward bias voltage is given, electrons are repelled by the positive plate. So sorry, holes are repelled by the positive plate, electrons are repelled by the negative plate. Both move across the junction, and more number of carriers, charge carriers are available in depletion region. And when certain voltage is given, they move in their in the opposite sense, holes and electrons causing certain current. Even though you apply small voltage, you will be getting more current in the forward bias. So how the applied current can be varying. This is called as IV characteristics. So you should vary the voltage and measure the current, and you have to plot a graph. The graph is nothing but IV characteristics. If n-type is connected to the positive terminal, p-type is connected to the negative terminal, this arrangement is called as reverse bias arrangement. Under reverse bias arrangement, the holes are attracted towards the negative plate, the electrons are attracted towards the positive plate. So you will be getting almost the depletion region very thick. No electron charge carrier is available in the depletion region. So when relatively very high voltage is given, a voltage which is known as breakdown voltage, after that voltage, small number of carriers may be available in the junction region, and you will be getting current in the magnitude of microamperes. Small current will be given. And how the current changes in the reverse bias, this is called as reverse bias IV characteristics. Again, you should calculate the resistance of the diode in the reverse bias also. Why it is operated in forward bias and reverse bias, I have explained in the last class also. You, in certain electrical application, you need high current in the magnitude of micro milliamps. It will be operated in the forward bias. If you want only small current values, small current is sufficient, then the same diode you can keep in reverse bias mode, so that you will be getting current in microamps. So the same diode, if it is operated in the forward bias, will be giving high current, and the reverse bias it will be giving in the low current region. So the same diode will be acting like this. In both cases, remember, the current will be increasing as the applied voltage increases. Generally, if you listen the term reverse bias, the current will be decreasing, that impression you may get. But this is not correct. The magnitude of the current will be different. In forward bias, we will be getting in milliamps, and reverse bias we will be getting in microamps. So in the simulation part, as we have discussed, first you should connect the circuit. Initially, the diode is operated in the forward bias mode. You have to select a diode, or think most of the students, you have selected the diode. For 4 diodes you should do. For 2 diodes, the circuit is automatically connected. Only you have to set the readings and take the values. But for 2 circuits, you have to connect the circuit, and you should select the diode and you have to take the readings. Further, let us assume the circuit is connected. Then you should select a diode, and the voltage, breakdown voltage also will automatically appears in the control panel. Now you have to fix the resistance. Generally, in the forward bias, the resistance is around 100 ohms, and in the reverse bias, it will be around 1000 ohms in general. 110 or 20 plus or minus, it doesn't matter, because It's a simulation program only. So you have to fix the resistance. Then initially you fix the DC. Should check the connection and you should fix the DC voltage. Once you fix the DC voltage, and you will be getting an option add to table. If you click the add to table column, then for the DC voltage, the forward bias corresponding forward bias voltage is given to the diode, and the current will be given. So you'll be getting voltage and current. Then you change the DC voltage uniformly. Again, you will be getting voltage versus current. Like that, for 8 different voltages, you have to measure the corresponding current values. In the table itself, it will be displayed, and in the program, it is there. If you click the plot button, automatically it will be a graph will be generated in the forward bias arrangement. Now you should go for reverse bias arrangement. Again, the circuit itself is in the reverse bias mode. You have to select the same diode for which you have measured for forward bias. Then breakdown voltage will be displayed around 30 volts you will be getting. Then in the reverse bias, you have to take the resistance in 1000 ohms. So fix the resistance around the 1000 ohms. Then you take the DC voltage initially as a 5. If you take 5, it is getting the current is getting only for the corresponding voltage, it is giving only 0.1 milliamps. Similarly, for 10 volts, 15, 20, 25, or 28 volts also, you will be getting only 0.1 microamps. Then when the applied voltage is very close to the breakdown voltage, that is around 28, for it is diode dependent, around 28 or 29, one value you will be getting, a sharp value, higher value you will be getting. So 1 or 2 values at the most you are getting, note down the values. So add to the table, if you click, the values will be coming in the table. If you click the plot, you will be getting the graph even for reverse bias also. So in the simulation mode, it is given separately both for forward bias and reverse bias. But actually in your regular lab, you have to draw the graph in the four quadrant mode. So you have to divide the graph sheet into 4 quadrants, and the first quadrant you can use it for forward bias arrangement, and the third quadrant you can use it for reverse bias arrangement. So let us assume the first quadrant is for forward bias, and the third quadrant is for reverse bias. So you divide the graph into 4 sheets. Then along x-axis, you have to take the voltage, and in uniform, like scale already you know in the FEG experiment you have taken. So what is the origin can be taken as 0, 0 only. Then you take voltage as 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 like that, and current values also. Once you plot a graph, first you should mark the points. For 0, the current will be 0, so it is 0 only. Then for 0.1 also, it is almost 0. For 0.2, it is almost 0. 0.3, 0.4 like that. Then it slightly increases. You mark the points and you draw a freehand curve. You will be getting a characteristic curve as shown in this diagram. So this is forward bias VI characteristic. Similarly, in the third quadrant, along negative x-axis you take voltage, and along the y-axis you take the current, and the scales will be different. Forward bias, the scale will be different. In the reverse bias also you can change the scale. Here the voltage should be applied as 5, 10, 15 like that. You change the voltage, and for many up to this region you can see breakdown voltage almost it is 0.1 milliamps only. So you will be getting like this only 0.1 milliamps. Then suddenly what happens? You will be getting some current. That point you mark it, and from that you join smoothly. Then you will be getting a characteristic curve in the reverse bias. In this way, you have to take a graph, divide into graph sheet, divide into 4 quadrants. First quadrant, you take scales for forward bias and mark the points, and you draw. You will be getting a characteristic curve. Initially, even though the voltage increases, the current, it is not that much current will be generated up to a region, E region, which is called as, up to that it will be same. Then suddenly the voltage, the current increases in milliamps. You note down the value, draw a smooth curve, you can get forward bias characteristic curve. Similarly, in the third quadrant, you take scale for voltage and current separately. Both are independent, forward bias and reverse bias. So again, as you increase the voltage, almost the current is 0.1 milliamps up to a region which is known as breakdown voltage, reverse breakdown voltage. Then suddenly it gets enhanced. You will be getting some current. You note that point and you join smoothly. It gives the reverse bias VI characteristic for a given junction diode. So this is the nature of the curve, IV characteristic curves of a PN junction diode. Is it clear? You have to do this after taking the values. I think you have taken for 4 diodes, and you among the 4, which diode suits better, seems better. For that, you draw forward bias voltage characteristic curve and reverse bias characteristic curve. Can you do this one? Then I can proceed how
Sir,
to
both
calculate.
bias,
Yes, ma'am. Tell.
sir, for both bias we should take same diode, sir.
That's what. You take, suppose it is 1N4007, then for the diode only, for forward bias and reverse bias, you take it on the same graph sheet. You take a graph sheet, divide into 4 quadrants. For the same diode, forward bias, you take the first quadrant. For the reverse bias, you take third quadrant and mark the points. Take the scale properly and you draw the characteristic curve. For one diode, forward bias and reverse bias same, don't mix. For one diode forward bias, another diode reverse bias will be on, should not be on the same graph sheet. You have to draw the characteristic curve of a PN junction diode, which you feel better values you have got, that name of the diode you mention at the top, and you draw the characteristic curves of the diode. Is it, can you do this one,
Yes,
students?
sir.
Sir, for each diode
Yes,
we have
sir.
to take 8 calculations, right?
That no need to take it. Only for that is for only practice purpose. Among the 4 or 5 diodes, you select only one diode. Okay. For the diode, you have a forward bias table and reverse bias table, VI table. Those values you take and plot the graph. If you have time, if you have patience, you can draw for the second one also. But at least for one diode, you should draw the characteristic curve. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any doubts? Like this you should draw. Now I will explain the calculation part. Now
Sir, when we have to submit, sir?
I'll tell you next week.
Okay.
Is this visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's visible.
No, new one. So the same. So
Yes, sir.
okay. See, so for one diode, you divide the graph sheet into 4 quadrants, and initially you mark the points, you make circles, and you join. So from the origin initially, even though the voltage increases, current will be 0. Then suddenly it increases exponential curve. This is the forward bias characteristic. Similarly, in the reverse bias also, initial up to a large range, you will be getting only 0.1 microamps. Then you may get some values like that. You will be getting graph in the reverse bias. So how to take the scale here? In the forward bias along x-axis, 1 unit is equal to 0.1 volts or 0.2 volts, like that you should write 1 unit is equal to. Similarly, along y-axis, 1 unit is equal to, current is in milliamps, so it is 2 milliamps, 4 milliamps, or 5 milliamps, like that. 2 milliamps, let us take 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like that you can take. So the value of each unit is 2 milliamps, like that you should write. So 1 unit, it should be represented what physical quantities you have taken along x-axis and y-axis. Don't put centimeters. So along x-axis, 1 unit is equal to 0.1 volts, you should write. Similarly, along y-axis in forward bias, 1 unit is equal to 2 milliamps, like that you should write. Similarly, in the reverse bias also, different scale can be taken. 1 unit is equal to 5 volts, because you are changing like this, 5, 10, 15, like that. So 0, 5, 10, 15, like that you can take. And the current is very less, so you can take 0.1 microamps only. 0 microamps, this is 0. So 5 microamps, 10 microamps, 20 microamps, like that you can take. You see the minimum value and maximum value, and you frame the scale, and you should write the scale. And x-axis, 1 unit is equal to some volts, y-axis 1 unit is equal to some microamps. Uniformly you should take. This is the way, so that you can write the scale. It must be written both for forward bias and reverse bias. So once you join the points, you will be getting characteristic curve for forward bias as well as reverse bias. Now you have to plot the, once you get the curve, you should find out the slope. For this, you remember there are 2 methods. So one method is, initially it looks like a straight line. So in some manuals it is given that straight away you have to select 2 points and you can find the slope. Otherwise, if you are getting a curve like this, you have to draw a tangent for this curve, and for the tangent you can find the slope. But here most likely it is a straight line almost, so need not draw the tangent. You see the curve, if you are getting very curve type graph, then you have to draw the tangent, and for the tangent you should find out the slope. Here this is almost seems to be straight line, so for this you should find the slope. To find the slope, you have to select 2 points on the curve other than these experimental points like FEG. So these 2 points I took. So for that, this is the corresponding voltage named as V1, and this is the corresponding voltage named as V2. And this is the corresponding current I1, and this is the corresponding current I2. So once you get the curve and the experimental points are represented with the dots, other than this, you should select 2 points and note down the corresponding voltage current values V1, I1, V2, I2. So what is the slope? Slope is Y2 minus Y1 by X2 minus X1. The same I took. Slope is equal to I2 minus I1 by V2 minus V1. Or in more general way, it can be written as delta I by delta V. The same can be again finally fine-tuned as delta I by delta V into 10 to the power of minus 3. It is because the voltage is in volts, but the current is in milliamps. So volts and currents in milliamps you cannot divide. You should convert this milliamps into amperes. So that's why it should be multiplied with 10 to the power of minus 3. So once you take this 10 power minus 3, then only you will be getting proper slope value. So this is the expression for slope. Because the current is expressed in milliamps, you should convert into amps. So 1 amp is equal to 10 power minus 3 milliamps. So in this way you can take. Then according to Ohm's law, you know that V is equal to IR, or R is equal to V by I. So RF, that is the resistance in the forward bias, is V by I, that is delta V by delta I. What is the slope? Slope is delta I by delta V. So 1 by slope is nothing but the resistance. So once you calculate the slope, 1 by slope will give you the resistance of the diode in the forward bias. So you will be getting some value, slope value, and you should consider this 10 power minus 3 also. Once you take the reciprocal of the slope, you can calculate the resistance of the diode in the forward bias. In a similar way, you have to calculate the resistance slope in the reverse bias. So this is the curve. You should select 2 points on the curve corresponding V1, I1, V2, I2. The slope is V2 minus V1 by I2 minus I1. Same way. So here the current will be taken in microamps. So slope is delta I by delta V into 10 to the power of minus 6 amperes, because micro is 10 to the power of minus 6. In this way you calculate the slope, and the resistance of the diode in the reverse bias is 1 by slope, that is in terms of 10 to the power of minus 6, you will be getting in the resistance, in some kilo ohms you will be getting resistance in the reverse bias. In ohms you will be getting resistance in the forward bias. So this is the way so that you can calculate the resistance of the diode both in forward bias and reverse bias. So in the experimental part, in the simulation, for 4 diodes you took, but for at least for 1 diode, for forward bias and reverse bias, you feel that the values are correct. For that, you should plot a graph by dividing the graph into 4 quadrants. First quadrant you take it for forward bias, second, third quadrant you take it for reverse bias. Take appropriate scale and mark the points, draw the characteristic curve, and your experimental points you marked with the circle or something. After getting the curve, you have to select 2 points on the curve other than these experimental points. For those points, you note down corresponding V1, V2 and I1, I2. Slope is I2 minus I1 by V2 minus V1. In the forward bias, it is delta I by delta V, but the current is in milliamps, convert into amperes. So it is delta I by delta V into 10 to the power of minus 3. Then from Ohm's law, you have resistance V is equal to IR, or R is equal to V by I, or delta V by delta I, which is 1 by slope. 1 by slope will be giving the resistance of the diode in the forward bias. The same you follow in the reverse bias also. You find the slope, but here current can be taken into 10 to the power of minus 6 because it is expressed in microamps, and find the slope. 1 by slope will give you the resistance of the diode in the reverse bias. So this is the result part. performing the experiment, you should plot the graph. In the simulation program, for all diodes, you plot the graph, both for forward bias and reverse bias. But for the experimental part, manual experimental part, you have to take a graph sheet and you draw the circuit, both for forward bias and reverse bias for one particular diode, which you feel it is better, you have got better results. Once you get the graph, for that you find the slope. 1 by slope will give you the resistance of the diode both in forward bias and reverse bias. This you should do in this experiment. Any doubts, students?
Right, sir, we have to write procedure. Huh?
Procedure not required, I think. Procedure is not required.
Okay.
Procedure is not required. Any doubts, students? Can you do this?
Yes, sir.
Sir, for reverse bias, all the current values are showing one.
That's what you see. Even in the graph, you see that it is almost parallel to x-axis over a range up to breakdown voltage. Did you observe? Then that is up to 28 volts. It is almost 0.1 milliamps only. So from 0 to 0.1, you have to connect all points are parallel to this x-axis. Suddenly, you're getting a value after breakdown voltage. Just you mark that point, you join that point, as I shown in the model graph. Okay. Did you observe this one? See this graph. I have to share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, so in the reverse bias in the third quadrant, first value is 0, for 0 it is 0 only. Then suppose for 5 volts it is pointer. Let us assume this is 5 volts. For that it is 0.1 milliamps. Then 10 volts also it is 0.1 milliamps. 15 also it is 0.1. 20 also it is 0.1. 25 also it is 0.1. Once it is 28, you will be getting some value here, a point. So what you should do, from this you should draw like this, and here the corresponding current value you are getting point here, you drop like this. Then only you will be getting the reverse bias characteristic. Okay. Further, you should find the slope. So here, this is a straight line, but here it is not a straight line. Then what you should do, you draw a tangent here like this, and for the tangent, you should take 2 points and take the slope. 1 by slope will give you the resistance of the diode in the reverse bias. Okay. Is it fine, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, for both germanium and silicon diodes, we should do, sir, experiment.
In the simulation, you try for all diodes, both silicon and germanium. And for plotting the graph manually on the graph sheet, you pick only one diode, either silicon or germanium, which you feel you have got better values. For that, you draw forward bias characteristics, way characteristics, and reverse bias way characteristics. For that only, you calculate the resistance of the diode both in forward bias and reverse bias, and show me the values in the next week. Clear? Can you do this, students?
Yes, sir.
So by next week, that is next Tuesday, we'll review this experiment, because those who have submitted, it's a continuous evaluation and it will be recorded, and next we'll go for the next experiment. First 1 hour we'll review. If time permits, we'll go for the next experiment. If it is online or offline, it will be decided at that time. And basing on that, we'll proceed for one more experiment, that is numerical aperture of an optical fiber is one experiment is there, and another one is thermistor. Among those two, we'll start one more experiment. And simulation is possible, I have to check initially. And after that, you have to perform the experiment. Will you practice? Will you try complete the reverse bias arrangement also? You log in and you try for reverse bias also for 4 diodes at least, because you should be familiar with the circuit. Connect the circuit and fix the resistance, select the diode and change the vary the DC voltage and measure the current. Add to table, if you click, you will be getting different values. At least for 8 different voltages, measure the current values, both for forward bias, then go for reverse bias. Like for 4 diodes, you initially take the readings and you plot the graph. There is an option, you click plot, graph will be there. You just give the print option and you can save in the PDF mode. Okay. Uniformly, you should select a DC voltage, not haphazardly. Uniform values you make. After that, after getting this and doing this one, for one diode, you should do it manually for record purpose. For that, you select the diode and you have the table in the system. And from that, you plot a graph, taking the values of voltage, both in forward bias and reverse bias. You take the current values, plot the graph by taking proper scale in first quadrant, third quadrant. And you see, you should get the curve. Some points are not coming properly. You leave those points. You should join maximum number of points for forward bias and reverse bias. Then you have to calculate the resistance both in forward bias and reverse bias. This you have to practice. So after this attendance, you start this one and try to take the readings. And this week you should complete the calculation. By Tuesday for the next lab, you have to submit this calculation part, graph as well as calculation part. This you have to do in this week. But for today, at least you complete the experimental part. For 4 diodes, in the simulation mode, you note down the readings, voltage versus current readings. Okay. Any doubts in this experiment?
We have to submit graph, calculation, and table.
Yeah. No need to write the procedure. What you have to submit is aim of the experiment, apparatus required, then forward bias circuit you should draw, reverse bias circuit you should draw, then tables, everything is there in the PDF. You can take the screenshot and you can submit the table. You need not give the table, but manually what graph you are doing, that graph you convert into PDF, you should submit, and the calculation part. Resistance of the diode both in forward bias and reverse bias. This you should submit.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So this you have to do this week, and we'll review this in next Tuesday in the regular lab. And tomorrow I will start next unit, that is the band theory of solids. I'll give introduction and the assumptions of free electron theory and their failures. Introduction part will be finishing tomorrow, and Friday chronic penning model as per the syllabus will forward. So you give attendance. Some of the students are not there. I'll take attendance. Roll number 61.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you give us 1 day gap to revise all that crystallography chapter? You can start the new chapter in the next or Friday class.
Tomorrow, what should I do? Tomorrow, shall I explain each and every topic once again?
Not explanation, sir. Like doing problems, explaining problems and all.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Rather than starting the new chapter.
Okay, one little bit of interactive. Okay, first half an hour, I'll devote it for because anyhow I have repeated. You can ask any doubts in the first unit. Okay, we'll have some interactive session first half an hour. Then only what actually we are going to read in the band theory will okay. Because we should complete the syllabus also. February, in the most likely February, you have internal exams, at least 2 units to be covered. The band theory of solids, we have two chapters, band theory and also semiconductors and dielectric materials. So it's a big unit. We'll try. I'll give you some time so that we can complete it. Because in the crystal defects, there are no problems. Only in the crystallography, basing on Miller indices and interplanar spacing, you may get some problems. Exclusively Miller indices and Bragg's law, interplanar spacing. D is equal to a by root of s square plus k square plus l square. Among this, you will be get D is equal to a sin theta and Miller indices. Among the three only, you are getting some problems. We'll discuss anyhow. If you have any doubts, you can get it clarified. And then if time permits, we'll start band theory of solids. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Rule number 61,
Yes, sir.
62,
Present, sir.
63.